Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So we are doing the Viking tier list. I know it's been like 2.5, 3 months since I've done the Knights tier list, but I will get the Samurai tier list really fast out after this one is done today. So yeah, we're just gonna hop into it right away with the first hero here. But a quick intermission before the first hero. I am announcing my fashion show tournament that is coming to you guys on Sunday, June 18th. This is Sunday, June 18th, this upcoming Sunday. It will be at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. There will be a Google Sheet, a sign-up sheet for you guys, just like the duel tournament down in the description below, as always. I am only going to need 7 of you guys, and the way this is going to work, we are all going to go into a elim match, load in, and we're going to split it up via faction, Knights, Vikings, Samurai, and then we're going to put the Woolen and Outlander together. In the first round, you will show off your best knight. You get to pick between all the knights. We're not going to do every hero because it's going to take forever if we did that, but you're going to pick one hero per faction that you think has the absolute best fashion. So Knights, Vikings, Samurai, Woolen, and Outlander are going to be matched together again. In the first round, in the first elim match, we will show your best knight. We're going to have judges vote and also the chat vote on the best knight. So guys, make sure to be here because you're going to want to be voting for these best outfits. It is going to be like an elimination tournament. So if your knight does not get chosen as the best fashion, you still have a chance of having it be your best fashion being a Viking or a Samurai or Outlander or Woolen. Once the first round for all factions are done, we will move to the second round, which will be the Knights again. You can hard commit to your best fashion with the first knight you did in the first round, or you can switch it up to a second load up for that knight that you just did in the first round, or switch it to a absolutely new knight hero for the second round. And that goes for all the other factions as well for that second round and third round until we get a winner for the best Viking fashion, the best knight fashion, and so on. So guys, make sure to be there on this Sunday, upcoming Sunday, June 18th at 5 p.m. CST. Be there. If you're not participating, if you don't get a chance to sign up in the Google Sheet, be there in the chat so you can vote, because this is going to be an awesome tournament. No prize, but this is literally just going to be something for fun. I think just, to give somebody a chance at having the best drip title, even though that's kind of cringe. Who gives a shit, because I want to move on to the tier list. Alright guys, so first up we do have Raider. Now Raider is a little strange for me. As a duelist, I don't think he's that good anymore. I really think he strives in 4s. Anybody with decent iframes or a dodge bash or just decent reads can kind of really outplay Raider. The Storming Tap and Heavy mix up the GB, or just, heavy let the heavies fly into Storming Tap again, isn't really that good a mix up anymore. Yes, it is very solid, but I don't really struggle against Raiders when I'm playing somebody that actually can kind of deal with him decently. Now, it can be kind of a problem if you do struggle with making reads or reacting to unblockable indicators, because I know parry flash is a little bit difficult, and that's where Raider kind of shines because he does have no stam usage on any of those zones. They're soft feintable to guard break and into his Storming Tap. Yeah, we'll keep it quick and simple and concise. I am going to put Raider at A for right now. His spot may change inside of A, but I don't think he's moving from A tier. Alright, so next up we do have Berserker, Baby Raider, basically. He's just Raider with a lot more pressure, a lot more hyper armor, and a little bit more unreactable offense. And he also does have dodge recovery, which makes him a little bit annoying now. I don't really like it for him. I think it's really strange to buff an already great hero, but in duels, he's not that great. Again, a hero that you can kind of work around. The only time somebody is really good with Berserker, right, is when their reads or just reactions are better than yours. If their defense is better than yours, you're going to lose regardless with any hero. But yeah, his unreactable offense and his super high damage and instant hyper armor makes him really tough to deal with for pretty much most people. Yet again, he doesn't really have an opener. His opener is really trash. It's basically just backstepping into an unblockable or heavy feinting into his hyper armor chain lights. But yes, let's put Berserker right above Raider. I do think he is a lot better than Raider in my opinion. They're pretty similar, but I will say that Berserker is a better hero. Alright, so now into Highlander. This character is really strange, guys, because he can either be absolutely fucking insane, or he is super trash. Now, the hard committers, these guys that play Highlander nonstop, they're so annoying. The offensive lights, medium hit stun, no stamina consumption, unreactable, and they do 9 damage consistently every single time. The offensive light spam with Highlander is the worst and most annoying move in the game, to me at least. He does have a 30 damage infinite unblockable chain, which is insane to me. His kick is pretty bad. Most people can dodge the kick and caber. You can't get caught by it, which does really suck for him. As you can see, like iframes when I'm fighting this pirate dude, he just dodges around me. I really have no way to catch this man. Highlander is really good when you're playing on the back foot and reacting and hoping that your opponent throws a lot of attacks, because if your opponent is super defensive, it is really hard to do anything really with Highlander. Also, he's a very technical hero. He can, base hero, he's pretty easy to think about, just offensive stance and, throw a bunch of shit. But technically at a higher level, as a technical hero, he is really tough to play. But once you do figure him out, he is super solid. He is one of these skill gap heroes in this game. Yes, he does have cheese. Everybody in this game has cheese. But Highlander at a high level is pretty bad unless you are really good with your reactions or you just know the hero in and out very well. But unfortunately, I'm going to say Highlander is going to go into B tier for right now. He might move down, I'm not sure, but Highlander is a super strange character. Can be super overpowered or incredibly underpowered. Alright, next up is Yorm, the hero that got reworked, an insane rework. Even the Yorm mains, when they dropped that rework in the TG, were saying this is way too overtuned, and guess what? We still got that Yorm. Yorm's trajectories and her feintable bash and her ability to just wall splat from her unblockable, which I think is kind of insane. I think that property should get removed from the unblockable, but hey, that's another thing. I'm not going to say how these devs should rework their heroes again. Her bash does guarantee 30 damage, although it doesn't have hyper armor, but in duels it doesn't matter. It is 30 damage. It is quite a lot. You feint for guard break. She does have a good guard break punish, as well as their displacement heavies that do put you on the wall, and they do have insane range. It is super frustrating. She does have an opener now. Her dodge forward bash is actually pretty decent. It's really funky. I don't know what it is when I'm fighting Yorm sometimes. They don't look like they dodge forward. Let me know if you guys actually this happens to you or not. But they sometimes just don't dodge forward. The bash seems like it comes from neutral, which is a really weird thing that I think they might have to fix. But yeah, her stam consumption is kind of crazy. She doesn't consume any stam. You can feint 5 bashes and throw lights and zones that have crazy tracking and trajectory and still not run out of stamina. And if you do land a hammer slam at the end of all those moves you're throwing out, she does get her stam reset, which really makes her kind of scary right there. Her ability to chain off a whiff bash with an unblockable that's feintable and a hyper armor zone that is also feintable makes her incredibly frustrating for heroes that do not have an insane amount of dodge recovery or a dodge bash. You cannot guard break Yorm when she whiffs a bash, which makes her insanely annoying to deal with. I would say the one thing that does really help her is her trajectory. Her light and zones do cleave a lot. It is absolutely insane. Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer. I think that Yorm does go into S tier here. She is miles better than these 3 heroes beneath her. All right, now the hero that most of us hate. I won't lie, the hero that most of us really hate is Warlord right here. You know, enhanced lights, hyper armor, heavy chains, a super unreactable bash, a ridiculous amount of frame advantage, and the consistent stam drain. Like, he basically feels like old Yorm sometimes. And he also does have displacement. Like, his guard break displaces enemies. You can put them on walls and it stuns. His out of stam throw punish is insane. As you see, I get 2 heavies because he's on a wall, or you get a top heavy and a side heavy and then still get frame advantage. He does have crushing counters, which makes him super frustrating to deal with. He does have enhanced lights with the crushing counters, which is really nice for him. And his lights, it's really weird for me. I have a tough time pairing his lights because of the way he hides behind his shield. The animation where he flicks his sword down really makes his lights a little bit difficult to parry for me from neutral. And let's not forget that his unreactable headbutt is 15 damage. So if you do not get knocked down to the ground and eat those 2 heavies, if he hits you with, he has enough time to hit you with 3 headbutts, that's 45 damage just right there off 3 unreactable headbutts. Let's not forget, he has an all guard. It's not my favorite. It is good. He does have the undodgeable. It does catch if people do dodge, thinking the headbutt is going to come out. And he also does get the light attack follow if you do hit his guard, and as well as the headbutt, which I don't use. I just use the light. Yeah, his immense amount of frame advantage and crushing counters and incredible stun and stamina drain make him a nightmare to fight. Especially, dude, I was attacking a lot in these duels. If you just play super defensive, he is an absolute nightmare to fight. So yeah, it is a no-brainer. Warlord is absolutely going into S tier, and he's going way above Jormungandr right here. All right, now Valk is a hero that I don't necessarily like anymore because I feel like her flow is ruined. Her old soft shield bash was absolutely magnifique. It was so fun to use and it was so smooth, but she is better now. Her all guard is incredibly frustrating. It is still unreactable. You can't follow up anymore, which is great because it was super annoying. Her zone being slowed down, I don't agree with. I think the trajectory should have been adjusted a bit, but it being this slow is criminal. It is way too slow now. She also does have crushing counters, which makes her, again, annoying. Anybody with CCs, you gotta make like 3 times the amount of reads, whether they're gonna throw a heavy nothing, if you can go for a guard break or anything like that. People having CCs make them a lot more difficult to deal with on the read section and read side of the game. But I will say a little bit of an issue with Valk is her non-enhanced lights literally anywhere. Her only chain pressure is her bash and heavy feint, which doesn't really suck because in order to get to her sweep, you have to throw 2 moves, whether that be shield bash into light into sweep, or heavy into sweep, or light heavy into sweep. You know, you have to get that second chain to get to her third chain. Now she does have a deflect. It is a shoulder pin. It is exactly what I'm doing to this Berserker right here. It's the same mechanic as a deflect. It bleeds. It's really nice. You can chain right after into it, into a heavy, into a soft feint all guard from the heavy, or into the light, which goes right into the sweep or into her bash. She also does get a guard break on her deflect, but it is super strange and it's super inconsistent with a lot of the heroes in this game. So you're just better off pressing heavy when you get a deflect. Her bash damage nerf was definitely warranted. It was way too much damage. Her zone being slowed down was unwarranted. Trajectory should have gotten nerfed. And her not being able to follow up off a whiff bash was fantastic when you're fighting a Valk, because it was an unnecessary read that you had to make in order to punish her. But yeah, her unreactable bash and her ability to drop into all guard to catch light interrupters or any crushing counters really makes her really strong. Also, her ability to wall splat. I tried to wall splat this guy here, but he deflected me. I think he knew exactly what was coming here. Her light finishers on the side do wall splat, which is super nice, and it does stun as well. But yeah, yet another hero that is going to go into S tier and is going to go right above Yorm to sit up here with Warlord and Yorm in S. All right, now into the last hero here. This is my favorite Viking for sure. You guys know everything there is to know about Shaman. Super unreactable soft feint light set bleed stack like a mother. Her zone that does soft feint into more bleed. Her deflect, although it does bleed, it does a very minimal amount of damage. It was one of the lower deflect damages in the game, but she does make up with that with a 35 damage bite. It does take a long time to use, and teamfights it's not the greatest. But yeah, let's not forget about her 35 damage bite. That does make up for her low damage on her deflect. And her unblockable actually is surprisingly has a lot of trajectory to it. It's also soft feintable, and it does do a lot of damage. It is a great unblockable. It has a lot of cleave, soft feintable, and also does a lot of damage. She has her light finishers from all sides that do bleed as well. She does have a dodge forward heavy, although it has almost no tracking. She has like the whole dodge forward bash, dodge forward heavy mix up, just like a Rochi, but without the undodgeables. But her dodge forward headbutt does wall splat, which is super nice. Her dodge attack has a lot of delay to it, although it is a light parry now. Before, when it wasn't a light parry, it was super annoying to deal with. The delay on her dodge attack is absolutely insane. All of her heavies are soft feintable to GB. And yeah, her frame advantage makes her an absolute nightmare. After she does anything with a zone or bleed, do not attack. Be on the back foot, because she is able to just keep attacking you before you can get anything out. Before I do play Shaman, I actually am going to move Jormungandr down to A, but she is going to go at the top of A. I do think she is just a bit better in terms of like opening people up between these two heroes. Her opener is actually a lot better than these two right here. She actually has one, these two don't really. And I am going to put Shaman into S tier and right above Valkyrie. I know a lot of you might not agree with that, but I really have a lot more success with Shaman than I do Valkyrie. But I do have out of all these heroes, I have the easiest time with Warlord. He is the absolute nightmare of the Vikings. Yeah, guys, this is my Viking tier list. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Let me know if I missed anything. You know, I'm human. I don't write notes. These are not scripted at all. I'm just going off the dome, off complete memory of the movesets here. Yeah, let me know where you guys would place the heroes on this list here. And yeah, make sure to sign up for the fashion show tournament. And yeah, I'm out of here.